My volume up. And I will turn y'all's volume up.
I thought
And
about going to massage school.
greetings and salutations, travelers. Welcome back to the inn of Planar Crossroads. And now we all know, and so does the internet, that Kane once thought about going to massage school.
I knew there was a reason you're my friend.
There's one actually right by the house. I have short fingers but very strong hands.
Well, there you go. Let's do announcements real quick, and then we're going to jump into our Around the Hearth with Black Dragon Gaming as our guest. Disclaimer, this is an adult podcast that sometimes features adults using adult language. Not this particular one, but the others. You have been warned.
Yeah, mostly me.
Mostly Kane. Thanks, Dad!
Thanks, Dad.
The Pathfather has spoken.
we just got to get everybody to say that.
Yeah, it's just a combined chorus of thanks, Dad.
They're going to calculate the whole the ping for everyone and then say thanks, Dad, at the same time.
Yeah, it's just, we are Legion, thank you, Father.
So, continuing, Patreon, $50 a month is our goal, is our next goal, and the Inn of Planar Crossroads that's going to give away a rulebook of the player's choice. And if we get to $100 a month, we already have a special edition Pathfinder 2E playtest rulebook on the way. It is in the mail, as it were, and it should get to us soon, and you guys could win one. That's for patrons of the giant tier or higher. Links in the doobly-doo. Our current video is going to be talking about the GMDCs and slightly about experience blog, one I wasn't all that thrilled with, but then the Druid, that's the big one. So we're going to breeze through the other one as quick as we can and get to the Druid. Our next one-shot is going to be at 400 subscribers, our next subscriber one-shot, and Colin is supposed to run it if everything goes smoothly, and I don't have to fill in again. Colin will be able to run it. And it should be in his odd, weird, fun, different type of game.
Say it like it's a bad thing.
Oh no, it's a very, very fun thing. Very fun thing. Our giveaway this month for the Inn of Planar Crossroads is... Oop, that's glare. The Dungeons & Dragons animated series. And it's all 27 episodes. Why would they cancel such a show after 27 episodes?
How dare they?
You know what? If to the lucky person who wins the 27 episodes that exist of the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon, you'll know.
You'll know.
You'll know why.
It is very Saturday morning, but it's fun to have on your shelf.
Yeah, the thing I really like about the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon that they put out in the 70s. Was that it's like a really iconic piece of that era of Dungeons and Dragons, but it's so bad.
Yeah. It's not super awesome, but that's okay. It is what it is. Appreciate it for what it is. And I believe that's all of our announcements.
Yeah, it's like... Sorry, go ahead.
I believe that's all of our announcements, except that we are planning to do a special project that we mentioned before to help out the community, and that is going to be a Pathfinder 2E special edition, a Pathfinder 2nd edition playtest audio reading, an audiobook that we're going to put on the channel that will be for the either blind or visually impaired or individuals that have a hard time reading, like dyslexia, severe dyslexia or something like that. You will be able to listen to these and hear the rules and make notes that you can understand and get an idea and handle on. So, there you go. And now we're done. Now we're done.
Okay. I actually hadn't even considered that people with dyslexia would have trouble reading a 400-page textbook.
Fun fact, when I was in high school, when I was in a metal band, my first ever guitarist, and today's his birthday, he had dyslexia. So I've got a long experience with like guitar profiles coming at me in 16/4. If that's not Greek to anybody out there, because that's what he understood.
That's so weird.
I think it's really cool that you guys are doing this for real, because there's a lot of people out there that would not get into the sport or have a much harder time getting into the sport because of their own disabilities. And if we can help other people come in, we grow our hobby gets better. That's the goal, right? That's why we're here.
Just sport. This is like a step above esports. This is like esports. We play them out of the woods.
This is.
But yeah, no, when I saw some pushback from a dude in our comment section that was like, I have dyslexia, and I appreciate that you're doing this. It made me feel real good about it, even though I'm probably not going to read most of it.
Yeah. I do plan to involve other people when it comes to the, like, they usually have character interactions within there, so I'll probably throw that. We'll probably have that in there with different voices. But all that aside, those announcements done, and I'm technically within my 5 minutes because they were talking about other stuff. I was within my 5 minutes.
All my fault.
That's okay. We're still well below the 20-minute House Divided intro.
No,
that's fair. Anyway.
Adam, did you see the part where you showed up in a House Divided? Because I left it in there.
I watched, and I heard.
Shut up.
In a Planar Crossroads says, "Shut up, you ninnies. I'm trying to edit."
It wasn't even. It was you misspelled "shut" with a P, and that's what did it for me. It was "shut up."
Shut up, you
I
ninnies.
really want to take that game seriously because I know how much work Joe's put into that, but it's just become 6 guys messing around for 3 hours, and I love that. I really do.
It's late in the day, and it's on a Saturday, so sometimes we're all just real, like, punch drunk.
To be fair to y'all, so
is
is
in
Joe
fact
sometimes.
3 parts Canadian, 2 parts American, 1 part German, 6 parts.
The man of your dreams.
I love that so much.
Good every time. I hate it so much.
All right, let's get into the blogs, people. First one we're going to talk about is running the game, and we're going to move through this one fairly quickly, I think. Running modes of play, I don't think is going to be very difficult to grasp once we get into it, once we understand the kind of different things that are going on, because we kind of had this going on already. When we were playing games, we would ask what you want to do, and usually you either had downtime or you were doing something else. So you were already kind of dividing the play up because you weren't always in initiative. So at least that's what I'm seeing. The thing that I did think was good was that they are going to give you a difficulty class chart within the book, and I think they did this a little bit in first edition, but not right away, if I remember right. I may be wrong. You can correct me in the comments if you want. Give me a page number for the core rulebook. Go ahead. But I think it's good to have references to trivial, high, severe DCs that are expected based upon the way you're expected to also get stat boosts, because stat boosts are going to be harder to come by. +1s and +2s are going to mean a bit more in the results for it. So should be pretty cool. You guys got any talk that you want to say about modes of play or difficulty classes that they put out there?
I got 2 things really quick. One about the +1s you write are going to be a little more difficult to come by in 2nd edition. Kind of the impression I was getting when I was listening to some stuff, some interviews with Mark Seifter, was that even just +1 bonuses are going to be fairly relevant from levels 1 to 20. So getting them wherever you can get them is going to be advantageous to you. And the other thing was, when I kind of breezed through it, I didn't really read the running the game blog from 2 weeks ago because everyone seemed so unimpressed with it. But the DC scale chart actually kind of reminded me of a video hankering from Drunkens and Dragons. He's since rebranded the channel to Runehammer, I think.
Oh, okay.
He
Seems
did a
better.
video. Yeah. Well, I mean, easier to get sponsors when you don't have Drunk in the name. It's the whole reason Drunk Tank changed their name back when Rooster Teeth was so young. But it reminded me of a video he did about when he's running games and he needs, like, quick challenge DCs. He'll set a DC for the entire room. So, like, anything that requires a roll to overcome in that room is that DC. And it's just easier to keep track of, and that's kind of what it made me think of.
Yeah,
I can see that working out well.
I can as well. a lot of times when I'm GMing, especially, and this is relevant to the two men I'm speaking to because I GM for them, but like as games progress, my skill check DCs become like arbitrary. If you roll well on the dice, you got it. Otherwise, you don't, because I want to make sure I'm still challenging players. That said, it's not ever going to be any harder to like, here's a knotted rope. All right, Kazaha, the knotted rope is too hard for you. No, I'm sorry, you don't have wealth by level. You can't climb that. No.
Yeah,
So,
I don't have wealth by level. I don't have my stats I need. I can't do nothing.
We'll work on that. I'll talk to the 60 on Thursday because I had an idea for something I want to do to like bring that up. Regardless, a lot of people in my comments said that blog was like, it wasn't flashy, especially for us as the PCs, especially with the Druid blog right behind it. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's relevant knowledge. It's important, and I think it's cool that here's this one chart for everything. Because like, okay, pop quiz. What's the DC to break a strong lock in Pathfinder? What's the climb check for a 45-degree angle slippery surface? Then it also has been raining, and you're on a boat, and they have a racial bonus to climb that doesn't apply here because it's not a swamp, and like all of that. That's the kind of bloat I don't like in Pathfinder, because it's like
25
not
and 18,
remember.
respectively.
Go die in a hole. But also, like, it's just so much easier to be like, here's the number. Do the thing or do not do the thing. Mm-hmm. So I can get behind it. We saw the experience charts in that blog as well. We saw that the slow chart is 1200, the fast chart is 800, and the normal chart is 1000, at least for the playtest, which I think speaks volumes for the amount of experience we'll get doing stuff. Because like that's not much of a difference, right? That's literally a difference of 400 from fast to slow. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if experience doesn't hand it out in like 50s or something like that.
Oh yeah,
or you'll level just way faster, which I think is also super relevant, because I know so many people that have never played a campaign all the way through, because like you played an adventure path and it cuts off at 16, 17, maybe less, or B, your group peters off. And you never get to see that character get all its full stuff. And a lot of that full stuff's really, really cool. And in second edition, it looks like it's going to be really, really cooler. Rangers are going to survive. Octarian is going to survive in the void of space. What? I still don't understand how that works.
I think that's going to be an occult thing.
Yeah, it might be an occult thing, and I think it, like, if it's just straight up a skill thing, that's going to be like a capstone survival ability.
Yeah,
like
I'm going to get it. It's going to be great.
You're level 20, you're already, to quote Marisha Ray, we're basically gods.
Yeah, that was...
at that point.
That was kind of...
I feel like in Pathfinder, you're basically gods by like 15th. Let's be real.
Well, I mean...
Now, I disagree.
You know what E6 is, right?
Do I know what is?
E6?
No clue.
It's a subset of rules. The full name is Epic 6, and everything after 6th level, you stop gaining levels and you start gaining mythic ranks.
That's cool.
Because like past level 7 and beyond, you're basically superhuman.
Well,
yeah, that is definitely the case. That's why I like level 11 through 13. That's where I think that's where you hit your stride, but you're not just bulldozering everything you find.
Well, I'll say at level 20. Even if you're not optimizing, if you're optimizing, you're going to be really, really good in 1E. But you're still...
Yeah, you're going to be ridiculous.
Yeah. You're still, if someone else has done that, then they're going to be able to clean house with it. Like, if there's a... If you were to go one-on-one, mano-a-mano with Cthulhu, it might be a bit difficult at 20.
Unless you're a paladin.
Unless you're... Yeah, but paladins get smite evil. So paladins get
Joe.
the smite evil.
He did it.
So
yeah,
that's kind of a scale tipper there. That's kind of their niche. So if they were just fighting a Tarask at... the paladin wouldn't be able to get his smite because there's no evil. It's just
it's neutral and it's native.
Yeah. So, like, if he was fighting that, he'd have to fight it. There'd have to be a couple rounds at least, 2 or 3 rounds, depending on the damage output. But I also listened to the podcast that Kane is mentioning about that No Direction was another YouTube channel that you guys can go check out if you want to.
Yeah, they name all of their.
If you got to find that path, you need no direction.
Yeah, they name all of their segments after spells.
Seems good.
So there you go. So no direction is going. They had a talk about bards on their. You probably need to go to their website to see it, because that's where I had to go. I didn't see it on their YouTube yet, but
you can download the podcast through whatever podcast provider you use, or you can go to their website at nodirection.com.
There you go. And he talked about
some people I've never spoken to.
Yeah,
I might talk to him in a week. I don't know what's happening.
Yep. Tommy did get.
This is a good time to note for the IOPC guys, or the IOPC subscribers, that yours truly will be at Gen Con this coming year in a couple of weeks, because I just recently got an email from Paizo, and we're gonna talk about the future of Black Dragon gaming at Gen Con.
And he's gonna drop some names, you know.
I'm still what. Well, I will say that they did say they talked about. Let me look at that email again.
No, don't look at the email right now. We are recording stuff.
No,
We're recording
You're
stuff.
just gonna get yourself all excited.
It's relevant because they said interview access, and some of the Around the Hearts might be with the Paizo guys, and you guys might be involved in that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
All right, we did it.
All right.
Yeah.
Focus.
So
Focus.
blog happened. Blog happened.
Yes, blog happened.
All right. Lead into the one of you.
Druids happened.
Druids did
I'll
happen.
say
I did want to make some
Go ahead.
remarks on the rewards thing where it talks about the XP. The XP gains are definitely, like we talked about, going to be smaller. I'm also not sure if I'll ever touch. If you gain levels too fast, you never really get to experience those levels. So I'm not sure if I'll ever touch the fast track. We'll have to see how much XP you get per thing you do, because there's going to be downtime XP. There's going to be, or at least if the game's good, it will have stuff for downtime XP, XP for traps, you know, like you normally need and stuff like that. So we'll see. If you gain it too fast, it's not gonna. I won't feel like I'm getting to play that character for at least 3 or 4 sessions. That, like, if you play a character for a month or a little less, if you play game every week and you're at a certain level, it's kind of good. That's kind of a nice stride. You'll get to experience level 5 for about 4 weeks. Well, for about 4 sessions. And then you get to level 6, basically. And I hope that's how it works, but we'll see. Now we can go into Druids. I will pull it up for everybody. Now we can go.
Now, thank you for permission, Pathfinder.
Yes. Okay.
We call you by your alternate name, Path Daddy.
Path Daddy Adam. All right. That's my rapper side name. You know.
Yeah, we're waiting on Path Daddy Adam's new EP to drop. It's gonna be hot fire.
It's gonna be hellfire. All right.
Yeah, but this week the Druid came out just today. Actually, earlier today, the Druid came out. We're gonna talk about all the different orders of Druid you can be.
Be all the Druid you can be.
Be all the Druid you can be.
All right, and I think the Druid, at least the stuff they've shown us thus far, is really. It looks real put together. I'm excited to see how all of it plays. But Adam said that some of it he was not super enticed by.
Yeah,
so I'm interested in that.
Okay.
Classic Adam.
So this the Adam the Skeptic.
Yeah, that's you.
For the Druid class, you know, it was fine. They did the whole, if you're playing a Druid, you're going to probably see this. And if you're wanting to roleplay a Druid, you're probably going to do that. I don't think anybody that's experienced doing Druid stuff is going to really, or experience the roleplay of regular Pathfinder or a tabletop game is going to necessarily need that part. So that was kind of fluffy.
True. But you gotta think, man. Like, there's going to be people who are brand new to tabletop role-playing games, and Pathfinder 2nd Edition will be like the first thing they have. And I'm not 100 because I've never looked at the core book, but I think 5th edition has something similar in its core book for, like, if you are a wizard, this is how you are thinking.
It does.
So there you go. It's just
it's just like a nitpick, but it's a nitpick that was also with the previous one, the experience one. It felt a lot like it was an excerpt from a book and not somebody coming out and saying, "Hey, dudes, check this out before it drops."
I think it is. Like, I think that little bit there, preparatory text, is definitely like text you're gonna see in the book.
Yeah, we definitely have seen that in the book already at PaizoCon when the Druid stuff was revealed. Like, it's new on the blog now, but this information is kind of like it's not a double speak, but some of it is, and you definitely saw that on like the page that had the Druid.
That was just a nitpick about the blog design itself.
Sure.
But working the way down through, the spellcasting sounds good to me. The spellcasting and the orders, I liked the highlighting of the orders that you're going to get. This part of the blog was really, really good. You got to see stuff like animal, leaf, and storm, and wild. All of them had their own thing.
Can I just say really quickly? Can I just say that I like the green faith in Pathfinder. It's my favorite religion. I said this in my video on the Druid, but it's gonna bear repeating here real quick. But like, I'm not a religious man, but I come from a religious family, and all the funerals I've ever been to, the eulogy is always kind of like, God does not exist in four walls. God exists in the streams, the lakes, the trees, the wild, right? Because that's like where it was, who created it and stuff. Again, I'm not a religious man, so I can't really speak to it, but it's always felt really right to me, the green faith, because that's what I've been kind of brought up around. But also, like, I think it's real cool that the Order of the Leaf gets a Leshy familiar just right away.
They can turn into plants. They're just Francis. They are
Francis. Yeah, they are exactly Francis. That's so awesome.
Who's Timothy?
Who is Timothy? Bartlett?
Hello? Can you hear me?
There's gotta be Timothy. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
All right.
This is what happens when you put your hangout link in Discord.
Diggity dang it, Tommy!
I didn't do it. It was Adam, though.
Diggity dang it, Adam! Inviting randos into our discussion.
Hey, Tim's not a rando. He killed you dead.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
We're just getting into the Druid.
Oh, cool.
The Druid speak.
Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
I was gonna say, do you mind if I join?
Yeah, dude, by all means. You are Mikasa about to be Sukasa, so, like, you're an intelligent dude, you know what's going on, you know how to talk about these kind of things.
Yeah, it's
unless Adam has a problem, because technically we're on IOPC right now.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's Adam's fault for putting it in the Discord.
Yeah, Adam asked for it.
I take full blame.
You're muted.
I take full blame.
There you go.
I own up to my mistakes. That is a characteristic of a mature person. So, Timothy, have you read the...
I was going to say, Timothy, you hear that? You're a mistake.
Hey, I am too, but I'm going to Gen Con, and Paizo wants to talk about the future of the channel with me. So it's okay. Mistakes are awesome. Because
I was going to say, you, me, and Baby makes 3, man.
All right,
I was a Valentine's Day present that my mother had to keep for 18 years.
All right. We're on Druid.
Yeah, I like that they're primal casters now. I like that the primal school of magic is focusing more on like the elemental style damages, and that Druids. I actually think they mentioned somewhere in this blog too. Definitely have access to spells like Fireball.
Mm-hmm.
So
the Tempest Druids do, yeah.
Fireball. Was it just the Tempest Druids?
I believe. I could have misread it. I was kind of not thinking about the blog.
They're not Tempest Druids, they're Storm Druids.
Okay, no. It's the primal list. The primal list contains all of it. So every Druid will have Fireball.
The primal magics are focusing really heavy on the elemental style damages. So fire damage, cold damage, lightning damage, acid damage.
Mm-hmm.
You guys never got to meet him, but if the Cross had died fighting Zanesha, I was going to play a Vine Leshy Druid, and he was going to be a Blaster Druid. But
no, you weren't. So it's you were going to bring in a star thrower.
No, that was way after. I didn't even think about Nixander until Vine Leshy, and I had a Witch, and I need more Pathfinder help. I have a problem.
Yeah,
Also,
you do.
like, it's really hard to build a blaster druid in Pathfinder First Edition. I feel because what you got like call lightning, you got lightning bolt, ball lightning, and like rolling fire.
I think like cone of cold. You got some of the cold spells. There's a lot of cold damage.
I feel like all the good spells for blasting are in the domain of the wizard, though.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
Sorcerer.
that's well because druids all like already have so many combat abilities. All of their spells are like healing and battlefield control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I mean that's real good. Like Thirsting Entanglement is a spell.
Yeah,
It's a damn good spell. But like
I'm considering taking Nimble Moves and Mystic Step that'll let me walk through it without penalty.
yeah, no, that seems very strong. But also like sometimes you want to just like throw a fireball at somebody, and sometimes like lightning bolt and cone of cold and stuff aren't the right spell just because of the shape, right?
Yeah,
Like that's the meme. You don't take lightning bolt, you take fireball. Now druids have it. I think that's without like the fire domain that I believe handed it to you. I always took the animal companion because animal companion is cool.
well, it's nice to have a battle buddy, but it looks like in second edition, no matter what order you take, you will be able to get an animal companion. But things like wild shaping are more the domain of the leaf and wild orders. Because they give you the ability to turn into a plant version of yourself or just straight up plants. I mean, like it sounds like a free tree shape at will sort of thing. And the wild order seems to be the wild shaping druid. So wild shaping, I don't think is going to be something that all druids do. It's going to be specific to one sect of druidism.
Yeah, and also I think it's real cool that the druids of the wild that I don't remember. Let me pop that blog up again. I don't want to misquote on your channel here because I misquote on my own channel so much. But you get a number of additional bonus castings of your spells equal to your strength mod
of all things.
Wild druid. That's so huge because like in a world where classes are sometimes real mad. I've never played a wild shaping druid. Well, I mean I played a druid and they wild shaped. What I mean is like I never played the big ol' in your face tanky druid. I feel like that's probably real mad because like you want to keep your wisdom to 18, 19 for the spell casting while also all of your physical stats are relevant.
Tell your brother to get on his schoolwork.
So you can be like the grizzly bears in Canada and you can tear open people's cars and eat people.
Yeah, they're real bad. Don't camp here. I know we said that before, but like don't camp here.
It's relevant. It's always relevant. And now it's a little more, it's easier to pull off. Especially in, well, we have a different roll-up in second edition. I was going to say, especially in that 15-point by adventure path, but that's not here. But there may be like a lower roll-up at some point. Either way, it's just a lot easier to do what you want to do, and that's super relevant. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I suppose we should start at the top and work our way down the orders.
That's what I was hoping you guys would do. But no, you just bounce all over the place.
I got excited, Tommy. I mean,
I'm excited too. I'm excited. You guys can't see it, but both my legs are going like full 16th note double bass right now. Yeah, I can't hold still.
Man, RLS going on.
I do. That's right. Okay. Anyway, right. I don't want to ruin your guys.
Animal.
Forward.
Animal's going to be really good for those that want to really focus on it. Like if my daughter played, I could really see her playing an animal druid because she gets heal animals, she gets to focus on companions, and I think, if I'm understanding it right, there's going to be this kind of herd of animals that you can get going on.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of do it in 1E. It's just not
Pack Lords. Yeah. Yep. I'm okay with that. It's like Octarian in my mind for second edition. I imagine he'll probably have like, to fit the flavor correctly, he'd probably have like 5 or 6 horses because that's Mongol, and also maybe like an eagle or something. Also, I really like what are they called? Specializations. Yeah, how our animal companions are going to grow a little more.
Do not get any drink. Do not get any
customizably modal. Build your bear workshop kind of thing, as opposed to I've said it so many times. Here's one more in Pathfinder First Edition. It's a dinosaur, it's a tiger, it's a war cat, or you're wrong, and you have this thing you have to babysit, and worse, spend your wealth by level to keep like updated. That doesn't have good enough stats. That gets killed by everything. That like don't even get me started on tricks. That's why we always take Beastkin on our druids in First Edition. Now, if I can have a like subpar animal companion, but actually like be good with it, because of these kind of things. I think that's really cool, and the druid gets more than one.
Yeah, and they do
powerful.
specifically call out things like that that happen first edition because they spotlight the bear that's going to occur in second edition.
And the bear's going to be the big melee one.
Yeah, because in first edition, the bear is neat thematically, but mechanically
not a tiger.
Kind of garbo. Because like the next step down from dinosaur and tiger is probably the wolf dog, and that's just for tripping builds, really.
And like bleed damage that a wolfhound can put on him. Yeah. I hear good things about rocks. Again, Dwayne Johnson, ride him into battle. Go, Dwayne Johnson. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing that seems to be special about the animal order for druids, outside of getting the animal companion for free, obviously, is being able to more highly customize your animal companion. I believe.
Right. Yeah. There's going to be
on top of getting
the
ability to heal your animals.
Yeah. There's, as far as the animal the animal one here, and I like that they do mention that the orders are going to have anathema, so that anytime you're getting something because of your alignment or because of something that you serve, like if you're a cleric or a druid, some kind of ideal that you follow, there will always be an anathema. I think that's going to be important for roleplay and for keeping everything kind of in line with the themes that you want to have in your game.
I like that they're moving they're moving away from like alignment restrictions and more towards like you have a code.
Oh my god, we didn't see anything about the alignment restriction in this blog for druids. Can druids be non-neutral?
I don't know. We'll find out during the playtest, I guess.
Well, why would you need to? Why would you?
You gotta wait 14 whole days.
I will be a J-Con for it.
Days. But you guys, the idea of, I don't know why you'd need a druid that was not neutral, though, because you can be neutral, you can be lawful neutral, you can be chaotic neutral, you can be neutral good or neutral evil. So I mean, you've got all your bases really covered.
You aren't wrong.
I don't really see the need.
To me, it feels like it's. Imagine, if you will, and this has now become an alignment thread. Everyone, congratulations, we've done it.
I'm sorry I even said the A word.
But like, if you wanted to have, for example, a lawful good druid who, like, order and justice and valor and things like that are super important to him, but also so too is the natural world. Like, that tracks. That makes sense to me. Again, it kind of like.
Well, then you'd play either lawful. Then you play
shut up.
Lawful neutral or neutral good.
Let it be a thing. Let it be a thing. They're leaving paladins at just lawful good for now. You get that. You're fine. You're so fine.
I only get that for the playtest. I think we all know I only get that for the playtest. If they're gonna, I hope that they have an Oath of the Paladin and then do something else with that. But this is not a paladin talk.
No, it is now.
So, alignment was enough of a tangent.
JohnTron.gif, stop!
So, the leaf actually does look good. It looks not just good, but viable, actually, because plants give a lot of good ideas.
Really quick.
Yeah.
That's Francis Root.
I just want to mention the anathemas before we kill the animal order and move on. The anathema for the animal order is committing wanton cruelty to animals or killing them unnecessarily, but that does not necessarily prevent you from defending yourself from wild animals or killing them cleanly for food.
Right.
And one thing you'll notice this with the animal and the leaf things when we get into the leaf is that I find it funny that the animal order druids are probably mostly vegetarians and the leaf order druids are probably mostly carnivores.
Yeah, that is cool. That's like if you want to play a boss you're going to be a leaf druid.
That's his anathema. Yeah.
But
super strong.
I never really liked that idea of someone who follows the natural path technically rebelling against the natural order of eating meat. So, I mean, it's a personal thing. It's not a bad thing.
I feel like the animal druid could eat meat just fine. As someone who basically just played this in Rune Lords, I feel like wanton cruelty to animals or killing them unnecessarily is like what like immigrants did to the buffalo in the Great Plains. But like if I'm a Order of the Animal Druid, and I'm more specifically if I'm an Order of the Fang Druid from the Green Faith, and I hunt the deer and I eat that deer because I've killed that deer in its circle of life, if that's anathema, I'm driving to the GM's house and we're gonna have talk.
Well, no, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that like you obviously you can kill for food. I'm just saying that you would probably see a tendency towards like low meat diets in animal orders and high meat diets in plant orders.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I think it's more like you're a Native American. You use all of the meat, and you only kill when you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we're
Sorry,
driving
kid,
at.
I still like you.
I disagree, but that's kind of the whole point of having the discussion.
I mean, there's multiple ways you can play it.
Yeah, I could definitely
Which is
see
why
an order
it's really
doing
cool
both.
that the anathema is open like that, and there's room to like, it's cool if you did this thing, as long as you didn't do like a real bad thing, because it means that several druids of several orders can appear and be correct, and not be like to take it back there, but only briefly, not be like pushed in like here. You are a paladin. You are this. No, you are nothing else. It's more open, and that's super relevant to roleplay. But I didn't say paladin. Order of the Leaf. What do they do? Can we talk about that?
Well, they've got verdant
That's
metamorphosis.
Francis Root. I've had Order of the Leaf for a long time in Lord of the Caliber, and they're the only ones that can cast Goodberry, that spell's really good.
That's a real good spell to have around, Goodberry.
That's right.
It totally is.
I mean, you don't want to get out there in a survival situation and then get stuck without any kind of food or water, because that would get really old really quick, especially if it's freezing outside.
I found a lounge Saskatoon berry, filled a whole camp of boys.
That's right. It was the best berries we ever had. I'll tell you that much. I do like that.
Lord, I found an apricot tree once. I thought I was so full I was gonna die.
Gonna burst at me seams.
Gonna just split open like a peach.
Oh
Lord.
So
I need to film all that. I should have recorded
for 20 years.
Nice. I'm very jealous of you. I should have recorded all that, and that was the conversation with Francis's family the next time you find some.
you can go download it.
Anyway,
You can go
on the
download
verdant metamorphosis.
Verdant Metamorphosis is really good. It's that's straight up invasion of the body snatchers for the evil druids, and I think that's really cool. I think that is amazing.
It is really, really late game though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we
it's an
probably
18.
again. I think we're gonna level way faster in second edition than we did in first edition. So,
Well, yeah, I think it'll depend a lot on the things.
but even then, I'm pretty sure the class ability that functioned like this in Pathfinder First Edition was a capstone. Yeah, there was a capstone of something like this for one of the oracles, and you could abuse it. You go on that cocoon, you come out as another thing, and all of your everything is healed, and then you take a bunch of ability damage, which somehow raises the other ability. I forget, and then you go back in the cocoon, and then you come back and you repeat for like infinite charisma.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Very good.
Yeah, I think the Verdant Sorcerer might do something similar.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
But
Yeah,
it's,
I think
it's a
does.
good thing.
I think all the Verdant bloodlines have something like that at the end.
It's a good thing. Storm
You're a
Druids.
beautiful butterfly.
That's right, a beautiful butterfly. You're special on the inside, dearie.
That's what you want. You want to see Francis hang upside down from like a cave wall in the Underdark and just like spit a silk cocoon around him.
That's a lot of spitting. That boy's got. Can your characters always have punches? I'm noticing that your characters are always a little, except Magpie.
Magpie!
Clowns!
I'm a little bird man.
Yeah, but everybody else is a brook, and that's a lot of silk. That's how you guys make your Lord of the Caliber money. Is you have the silkworm,
Yeah,
little
that's
Irish
funny.
silkworm.
But Francis
Silk's
comes out
pretty
of that
strong.
cocoon, he's thin and svelte, and he's got pecs. It's very impressive.
The Storm Druid gets trained. You get something from your orders. Like if you were an animal, you were trained in athletics. If you were a Leaf Druid, you were trained in diplomacy, which was interesting.
Yeah.
So if you want a talker Druid to be your face, that's not a bad idea. Because they're going to increase their charisma anyway to deal with animals. And you get acrobatics as a Storm Druid. And the Storm Druids also gain Stormborn as a feat, and the Tempest Surge power, which is a power 1 with a span thing. So I don't remember seeing the span thing before.
I believe span means that like you heighten it, I think, or like it has feats to augment it.
So do I, because it mentions the heighten thing at the bottom, that you double the damage from 1d10 to 2d10.
That's the Eldritch Blast right there. It's on Druids, not Bards.
And they also mention a feat here that'll increase the d10 to d12s, which isn't super impressive, but is nice.
Man, I've never thrown more than one d12 at a board in my whole life. If I can throw 6 or 7 d12 at the table, that's amazing. I don't even use the d12. Now I'm going to use 10 of them. What?
That's fair. I mean, the dodecahedron does not get enough love.
Yeah, love the dough. Love the dough.
Love that dough!
Did you have something to say, Tim?
Yeah, I was saying that it doesn't just do the d12, it also, on a crit, does the sluggish condition, which looks really painful.
Oh, yes! Yeah, they talk about the sluggish condition in that. If you fail or you critically fail, you gain sluggish or sluggish 2 for 1 round. And sluggish is a penalty on your AC, your reflex saves, and your attack bonus. And they mentioned specifically that anything they managed to get that off on had a really bad round ahead of it.
Yeah, it did, because like you have a penalty to your AC, so the whole squad is going to crit you easier. You have a penalty to your attack, so you're critting not as easy, and your reflex save is down, so I can critically fail. Or I can make you critically fail again with the next cast.
That's, on top of taking double damage.
Yeah, right. That's so
absolutely
crazy.
True.
Pathfinder 2nd Edition is going to be all about like
debuffs.
For lack of a better way to say it, I believe, not yes, but also like you're not building in an optimized arena. You are not building one character who's great, or even like 5 or 6 that are really great. You're building like the Avengers. You're building a group of people that work really well together to accomplish really great. Like all of the optimization requires help from your friends. Is what I'm seeing so far, and that's amazing. That's so great.
There is going to be
that's literally having your cake and eating it too, as far as like having an optimized character and also having friends at the table. That's just 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I think that the only person that may be able to negate that need for a party will either be the bard, or the rogue, because of the way the bardic. Because of the way bardic knowledge works. But that's something for another time.
Well, yeah, the bard pulls away on knowledge skills, but he's going to fall behind on lots of other stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well,
there's gonna be a very balanced eye.
Everybody's going to have their weapons that they specialize in well, and with resonance being king, the bard's going to be very versatile.
Cash, you're gonna have many magic drumsticks.
No, you are, Cashew. Yes, you are. Oh, man.
That's right. Magic drumsticks for Cashew.
As some of the people who came to the end of Planar Crossroads from Black Dragon Gaming's channel, you may recognize the name Cashew from the Hail the Gorilla King tournament, a first edition send-off tournament. He's definitely not going to be a Shadow Dancer or a Barbarian this time. He's going to be a Bard, and it's going to be weird.
It's going to be great. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Right. The last one they highlight is Wild, and this is the one, like you guys talked about, was really, really... Of the primal casters, this will probably feel like the most primal of the casters, because even the animal one.
I disagree. I don't think it'll feel like a caster. I think it'll feel like how we see the battle clerics coming together, that are gonna be like strength based and buff. I feel like this one's gonna feel. Brace yourselves, like the Shifter of Pathfinder First Edition, except you have spells. Gasp! Yeah, no,
that's still a primal caster though.
But playable, but good.
They're still playable, you whiny bitch.
They are. Sarah definitely played a Shifter in that one shot here on IOPC, and when we play tested it, killed Tree Razor in a round solo. Real good, but like this is going to be, I think what they were shooting for by play testing the Shifter round, I think was leading into the Wild Druid.
I like that the Wild Druid tends towards strength.
I do too. That's really cool.
It's always nice in Pathfinder, especially as like first edition grew more and more. Someone being
spaghetti
being rewarded for having the muscles.
Yeah.
Because at by late game, it was just you can add your intelligence to everything, or your wisdom to everything. Play a gunslinger and multi-class sorcerer and shoot magic out of your butthole.
Yeah, in 1E, Dex was king.
Yeah, it's
It's still king.
Some strength. Yeah.
I imagine it won't necessarily be king in second edition. I bet it'll be good, but also I think it's going to be okay in Pathfinder second edition to be the full plate shield, because shields are great now. Full plate shield, sword and board dude, rolling around.
The only thing that's
I think
keeping
the math is going to be smaller.
Yeah, the only thing that's keeping AC, the only thing that's keeping Dex from being the absolute king stat is that stat adjustments are so much harder to get now. So you have to depend on your armor to keep you safe.
That's fair. That is fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like you have a high Dex that's just like what, +1.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's
like
that's why it's
the
kind of
math
tied.
is going to be much smaller, so it's going to be a lot more difficult to rely on adding a bunch of different stats to your AC or something like that.
All right, so druid features and feats and such like that. I like the flavor behind Leyline Conduit.
Yeah, that looks super powerful. It is a 20th level feat, so it is a capstone thing.
That's a damn good capstone, though. That's the capstone that stops you from having to leave the battle and in high level play because you ran out of spells. That's amazing. That's so relevant.
Yeah,
It
depending
reminds
on
me
what
a lot
you
of the
do it
Menhir
on.
Savant archetype. It reminds me of the Menhir Savant archetype in Pathfinder First Edition, which it wasn't that good, but like you would use the ley lines to increase like your caster level. Yeah, that's right. It's very, very good archetype, and it feels flavorfully the same way. And again, it feels like a lot of times when I see druids played, I don't necessarily think casters, Francis aside, but I think like turn into a bear in each face. This feels like we're promoting the ability to be that caster and not miss out. I really like that.
Yeah. I think if this is this is a capstone, it is a feat 20, but if this is indicative of what druids are going to get, they're going to be quite a force to be reckoned with, especially if they can cast 5th level spells for free just by adding a somatic component. They have to pick one, but that's pretty good. The animal companions. Now this is the part where I'm unsure of how it will behave, because I look at the bear's hit points, and there's 8 of them.
Yeah, but they're doing incremental increases to hit points. So I think the hit points are I think what we're seeing here are
like
base
a D8
stats.
die.
Right. The chart, it talks about it advancing at like 4th and 7th and stuff like that. 8 hit points is not a lot when you go and start.
Yeah, but like at first, I was gonna say at first level, your druid might not have much more than 8 or 10 hit points.
Well, if your druid will probably have as much as a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially in second edition, because you have racial hit points at first level as well. And what we might be seeing there is we might be like, a bear might have 8 racial hit points, and then you might have like it increases in addition to the 4th and 7th level advancements, which like those do exist in Pathfinder First Edition. That's where, for example, the Warcat in Rune Lords, it turned to large at 7th, and at 4th it got Rake, and its abilities would increase along the way. But that doesn't mean I still didn't get additional hit dice. That doesn't mean my saves didn't improve, things like that. So
I think this is going to be like a sort of every level your bear gets 8 more hit points.
Yeah, I can see that.
If they scale up this hit points, yeah, if they
because they're
something,
they're like a
with it.
supplementary character.
Yeah, because I remember watching. I think it was I believe it was No Direction. Yeah, they were talking about summon stuff, and I think Animal Companions fall in this too. That they'll get 2 actions instead of 1, or instead of 3 rather, to help the action economy not just like skew the druid's way, because it totally can. Oh, it can summon all the elementals.
Yeah. And that limit on it.
There weren't already 7 of us.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think anybody's playing a summoner in our 2E game at the moment. But if you guys want to watch that,
well, maybe Alex.
It's going to start up in a little while. Not this week, but once the rules drop, basically, we'll be running.
Next week is our session 0.
Yep.
excite, hyperintensifies. Man, I've been having a real good couple of weeks. Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Who am I?
He loves you.
Like, that's what I hear.
All right. So, I do like the bear. I like that they give you some different types of bear, because pandas technically are not bears, people, but they're like giant raccoons. But
Yeah.
they can count as bears for this, I guess.
It'll still mess you up like a bear.
Yeah. Snap your bones like bamboo. I've seen Kung Fu
Yeah, I was
Panda.
gonna say, yeah, any. I love those movies. There anything that's an embarrassing thing to admit, but I do. Anything that could eat wood all day is not to be fucked with.
And not have to worry about the fiber. It's like,
Yeah.
all right. I like the other stuff on the bear, and I like that they're giving feats specifically, that they're talking about feats like bear hug and stuff like that are flavorful to have for an animal companion and a bear and stuff like that. That's good.
As
It's just
adorable as it is terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence about it simply because of the hit points of that animal companion. And if it's making its own saves, it trying to save from an AoE effect that, even if it succeeds, does half damage. If it doesn't advance enough, there would be a problem. So,
Well, you know, man, actually, on that note, as I'm looking through this, we don't see it saves. So, one has to wonder if possibly that doesn't mean it works, not unlike familiars on wizards now, if it's not, like, tied to yours.
Yeah,
That
well,
might be a
it's
stretch.
abilities, strength, and con, and I'm not super sure what that means. And maybe that's just in reference to abilities that will be important to that specific companion. But yeah, I have to agree. I think they're gonna have to advance the animal companions somehow, and I think they might try to advance it the way that they do the familiars in first edition, where they're like their stuff like their base attack or their proficiencies and their saves are the same as the druids, or they might have their own table like they do in first edition.
Yeah, I can see both.
all right. And that gets us down to the bottom with the maneuvers. They did talk about grapple, which we haven't seen yet. So, I mean, I want to see what that looks like. I want to see if they
It's
make
Well, they
it
don't really
good.
talk about it.
we just know
mention
that
it.
the bear can auto grab without.
Yeah,
rolling.
we know that. Yeah, we know that the bear it's not even like grab from first edition. It's just if he hits you twice, you are now grappled. Like, eat it.
If they have bear
that's-
hug. If it has bear hug.
The Canadian can tell us that's how bears work. That's,
That is, they rip your face open, they sit on top of you, and then you eat your innards while you're alive. Bears are awful. Don't camp here.
Well, it's the grizzlies that you got to watch out for. Those black bears are wusses.
Black bears are straight up wusses.
Yeah. To say nothing of the growler bears, apparently. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, like, you didn't know that? Of course you didn't. That's a super Canadian thing to know.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you guys have
Polar
any
bear and
other
grizzly bear
remarks?
hybrids, kids.
Yeah.
I will say these are rules that we are definitely going to see in Broken Universe, because I am playing a ranger and I will have a horse companion, or the universe exists where, like, if I can have a stag or a moose or something, then I would probably choose that instead. But I'm definitely specifically, one of the reasons I'm playing a ranger in the playtest is because I want to take an animal companion that is not a tiger and be able to thrive, or rather, I guess, see if I can thrive in that setting. So I may have no fun and embarrass myself in front of God and my girlfriend and all my friends, but we'll know. We'll know if the horse is good. And a lot of rules like this that I'm seeing, it makes me feel that, like, they definitely will. In a world where I think, I could be misquoting, but I think the base speed on most things is 20 feet, and then the elf is at 25, I think. The bear
thought
has
it
a
was-
speed of 35, which makes me, and I could be wrong, I might be getting the numbers wrong. I know it's a little less than it was in first edition, but I'm wondering if the horse's speed is not like 50 with a work together benefit of go even faster.
I don't
Or,
know.
like, if I can get some kind of ability to, like, to haul things on my horse. I envision Octarian having grappling arrows and then shooting like a dragon, and then using my horse for a work together benefit to literally with that grappling arrow pull that flying thing out of the sky and over to what is Alex calling his dwarf? Over to dwarf. So
no, he renamed it. He renamed him
to dwarf, and Lucia's barbarian, and Cashew with his mallets, and it'll be amazing. It's what else do we see? I think it's really
on your skull.
Yeah, hell yeah. Anyway, like the snake is the one that has better AC. That's weird. That's not what I expected to see, because I think you could take a constrictor in Pathfinder First Edition, and it was like, if you know those guides, I think it was like yellow feet or green feet to take
they weren't awful, but they were kind of niche.
But if it's got really good AC coming down, then that's cool. That's Mahario.
Looks like it might have like a climb speed and swimming speed too.
Yeah, they've got all the special speeds.
My Black Dragon disciple in a lot of his like builds is a ranger with a snake companion, so that's if it's playable, that's just amazing.
All right.
I always figure that the animals that are tied to a druid are in much the same way that an animal that's tied to a wizard is special. An animal that's tied to a druid has to be special, because like the rock never becomes gargantuan for a druid, but it's still like a 20th level druid's rock, whilst only being large size instead of gargantuan, could probably kill a rock by itself.
Yeah, could. That's very true. Battle of Dwayne the Rocks Johnson.
Speaking of size,
Battle of Dwayne's Johnsons on a rock. But I think like a druid's like boa constrictor animal companion is gonna have like abnormally thick scales and very
thick everything.
Venom.
Yeah, with like 5 C's.
Yeah, it's gonna be like thick with 2.5 booties
right here.
Speaking of size, it looks like the animals are going to start small and then grow as you grow.
Well, and they do that in First Edition too, but I think the growth is going to be more substantial, because the bears, I don't think, ever get bigger than medium in First Edition.
They do not. There's a hunter archetype specifically, so bears and bears and stuff can be bigger.
Like your starter bear will get bigger.
Yeah, that's what I mean. In First Edition, the bear starts small, and then I think at 4th or 7th advances to medium. Okay. But in second, it's going to start small and go all the way to large.
That's really cool, because there's a lot of archetypes in First Edition that like specifically were made to make the animal companions that don't get that big become that big, up to including like the Mammoth Rider Prestige class will help you get a huge animal companion if you want the giant death bear that we all secretly have wanted our whole lives.
Give me that bear the size of a minivan. I need it.
Oh yeah, we do. Don't ask why. Put a ballista on it. It'll be great. Shoot all the things. But it's, I guess that is a kind of a worry for the ranger in the party for Broken Universe, because if my horse starts out small and I have to wait till 4th level to be a mounted character,
I feel
that's
like
weird.
That's going to be they're going to balance things like that. Like the horse.
Horses aren't built for combat.
Yeah,
So-
They might be though. Hey, you don't know. Maybe there's some kind of like thing you can put on your horse to where it's real good. And honestly, their work together might be less of like pulling things and more of like a trample.
a tiny ballista, otherwise known as a crossbow.
I'm okay with this. Just put a bunch of crossbows, like staple them on the back of the horse, and get some like mites, and they'll ride. It'll be the best.
I like it. Maybe you start with a pony.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of okay with that.
You have to hike your knees up to your chest like a grown man
Just-
riding a tricycle.
Tommy's
Hug
little pony.
Colin Sorcerer hard until
Tommy's
Colin
little
Sorcerer
pony.
Play as like a gnome.
Until Colin Sorcerer casts Reduce Person on me and then develops feelings, and then I'm the love interest in Broken Universe.
Right, it's got to be someone other than me. Adam has made me the primary romantic interest in 2 separate campaigns.
I haven't
Can't be me
made
anymore.
you that.
To be honest
It all
with
worked out
you,
that
I
way.
wonder if it's not Lucia, based on how quick Colin like latched onto her. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would
Well,
say
I think he
it's
was
for
doing
barbarian.
that to make her feel
He's
welcome
just excited.
too. So.
He's just excited to have another girl in the group.
Maybe. That's a little mean, but maybe. He did the same thing to me, though. He did the same thing to me with my Android. He was messaging me like, oh, you're playing an Android, huh? That's sweet. And he's playing a female Android, and I'm playing a male Android who wants to kill you all and convert you to Nerlethotep worship. God, why didn't we finish that game? But...
that Nair grenade, bruh.
Oh, that Nair grenade.
All right, we're getting way off topic.
We're
supposed to be talking about Druids.
He's playing another chick.
Yes.
Another sorcerer, too. It's his third sorcerer.
Well, I told you guys that it starts over when we get into a new system. So I'm actually curious to see how this...
I'm glad we needed your permission for that.
Yeah. I am GM. Because if... so if Tommy plays a ranger this time and he wants to play a ranger next time, I'm like, maybe you should branch out, man. So...
I believe you could. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, though, based on like how things are being built,
it is possible.
Maybe. The ranger probably less so than like the sorcerer, who like is going to have all the spell access forever, or the druid who has orders, or the muses for the bards.
Oh yeah,
the ranger's probably a little more straightforward, but
everybody's going to feel different.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
on the same kind of vein as the druid or druid light that the ranger is. Definitely, I was listening to something they were talking about. They're getting the templates ready for both versions of the ranger, because the ranger's a non-spellcaster in 2nd edition right now, but they're definitely getting the templates to get together to make it a caster.
Should we decide to go that route?
Yeah, that or they're going to try to implement like feats. For the ranger, that'll give you access to spells or powers in much the same way that the paladin has access to powers instead of spells.
I believe something they mentioned in the No Direction podcast talking about the bard was that he talked about how he couldn't talk about specific feats, but he asked, I forget who was interviewing him. He asked him, the guest asked him, what level of spells do you think you can have access to being a non-spellcaster if you take the right things for it? And he threw out, probably 4th, because in 1st edition that was about right.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
The response was actually 8th. You could be an 8th level spellcaster without touching a spellcaster class.
Seems good.
If you
Seems
take
very
good for it.
But it wasn't like you got the ability to cast spells. It was like you got spell abilities at that level.
I don't know if that was it, or if it, because you get spell points in different classes that don't have spells, like the paladin. He gets spell points, or the monk who gets spirit points or key points or whatever they're calling them. They're calling them spell points, I think. He gets those things. So it is that kind of idea that there's going to be a way to get spells without being a spellcaster, which is not surprising with what we've seen.
Yeah.
But I think we've sufficiently exhausted these 2 blogs, as well as some of our tangential thoughts. Anything else before we go, gentlemen?
Again, I'm going to say really quickly, thank you guys a lot for being around as BDG was coming up, and you too, Tim, for real, because like I got up today kind of late because I'm not in between jobs. I have another job. I just don't start till the 1st, so I'm taking advantage of not having to go to bed. And I went to record the blog today for the Druid, and I see I have an email from Paizo. They want to meet at Gen Con to discuss the future of Black Dragon Gaming 500%. Without the end of Planar Crossroads, Black Dragon Gaming would not be a channel. Just flat. There's no way that I'd be able to do it. This is both because, like, you guys are my best friends, and Kane does a lot of my editing, and it's... You guys know that I was shirtless at one point in my videos. It happened. That was the thing.
We saw Tommy titties.
You've seen me shirtless. It was... But regardless, like, you guys are amazing. And if you're going to Gen Con, again, I'm probably not showing up till late Saturday, early Sunday, because Doomsday Dawn is going to happen. But I'm going to be there, and I want to meet you, and I want to game with you. I want to throw way too many dice at way too many tables. So, yeah, just, like, ping me on Black Dragon Gaming's YouTube. We'll figure something out. We'll meet. We're going to live real hard for a couple days. But I don't mean to ramble all over your all's video. It's
All right.
my
before
final
this-
thoughts. My final thought about the Druid is it's going to be really good. And I really, if Octarian dies, I'll play a Tengrian Druid Shaman with like see if the Eagle is an okay like mauler type to like dive in. Somebody dies horribly, because I think that'd be sweet.
Flyby attack is real good.
That's real good flavor, yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Thank you, travelers, for stopping by, and we hope you have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
This content was made possible by the generous support of patrons and travelers like you. Thank you.